so many Democrats here in this. Even though we didn't do well in the last election, we survived, and we're going to come back. Yeah. And I really want to join Lori and Larry in thanking all of you for all of the work that you did on that election. You know, I started my political career addressing envelopes and making phone calls for Jimmy Carter. So I know how hard that is. And as a volunteer, how long you work, how hard it is to go up to people you don't know and ask them to vote a certain way and give them the reasons. And that's what makes our democracy work. So thank you all very much for that. Thank you too to Terry, to all of you who ran and weren't successful, and to all of you who ran and were successful. I think you have the harder job this year, right? For those of us who have been around a long time, I sort of feel like the Meldrum Thompson days, you know? When we were going to arm the National Guard with nuclear weapons. There's sort of an air of that to what's going on in the State House. I said, gee, it makes the Tea Partiers in Congress look reasonable. Don't write that, you So I wanted to be here tonight because it's so nice to be in a room full of Democrats. And I know that what we're all focused on as we think about the future, the next year, the next 2 years in Congress, and the next 4 years, is making sure that we can continue and do everything we can to support the kinds of initiatives that Terry talked about, to making sure we have a strong economy that can create jobs and put people back to work, to making sure that people have health care when they need it. And don't worry, we are not. Making sure we have the best trained and educated workforce so that we can create those good jobs in the future and be competitive in this new global economy that we're in. And to make sure we have the investments in infrastructure. That's what people want to see in New Hampshire and across this country. They want to be reminded that America is the great country that we all grew up in, and that we can take on these challenges and we can continue to lead in the world. But it takes leadership, and it takes continuing to focus on those things that make this country great, that give it opportunities for everybody, and for those who are new to the country, to make sure that they're treated fairly. I'm really proud of what we were able to get done in the lame duck session of Congress. I didn't like everything about extending those tax cuts, but I thought we needed to extend them for the middle class families in this country and small businesses, so I think that's important to see if we can keep this economy recovering. I thought it was important to repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And I worked really hard personally on ratification of the New START Treaty. For me, that felt like a huge success to try and continue to reduce the number of nuclear weapons we have in the world. But you know, mostly I wanted to be here tonight to recognize Carol Shea Porter. these are my friends, these are all of our friends, and these are women who have been friends to families, to working men and women in the state of New Hampshire, and to making sure that we have a state that is the best place in the country for people to have opportunities to get good jobs, to raise families, and to grow up in. And collectively, they have made such a difference for so many people in New Hampshire. And I'm not going to tell all of the stories about each of them, because I've known Bev and Martha for longer than all of us would like to remember. And of course, Carol's contributions in Congress are so significant. She's made such a difference for veterans, for men and women serving in the military. And you all know, because you know Martha and you know Bev too, what a difference they've made in providing health care to people and in protecting the environment and in working hard. I remember, you know, Bev and I started in the state senate together, and Martha was in the House at the time, and I can remember Susan McLean talking about how it was the women in the Senate who always took home all of the homework at night. Now, all of you men, I don't want you to be insulted, but Susan went on to say, it's because we like to know what we're talking about. And there is nobody who has worked harder than these three women. I think we should feel so fortunate to have these remarkable women from the Seacoast who have been willing to dedicate their lives to public service and to making a difference for people. And I don't know how we can ever thank them for the time that they put in and the fact that we're going to tell them they can't quit now. Just a little vacation, a little R&R, and I know that, in fact, that is what they're going to do, because they believe in the work that they've done, they're dedicated, and they're going to continue to work on the issues that they're passionate about, whether it's as elected officials or whether it's in another capacity. So I think we should hear from each of them.